Peace and blessings, y'all. This is your boy Juro. It is the 13th of May, 2016. It is the beginning of your weekend, the conclusion of your week. I know there's some people right now like, what are you doing, Juro? You put a video out earlier during the day and it's kind of misleading, but let me let you know something. You're not going to find that video. The video is not deleted. It's been unlisted because when I went to sleep, y'all, put that video out 2:26 in the morning, early today. And when I woke up, I had a fire in my spirit. My discernment said, you're not done. Stop misleading people. Put clarity there. So guess what? Nah, not yet. All right. Now, I'm going to throw this disclaimer out here. There are going to be some things that I'm going to convey. I'm going to try very, very hard to stay on task. And I'm going to reach the intended ear and heart. So if you're doing something, put me on in the background. Keep doing what you're doing. If you can't allow the time to hear this, that's okay. Come back to it. All right off the bat. First of all, I want to thank each and every subscriber, visitor, or share that have found my channel. When I began my spiritual walk, October 18, 2011, I was a very broken man. Even though I knew that there was good in me, and I strive to be a good man, there was still a lot of things that needed clarity, that needed understanding, that needed to be healed. But the one thing that I knew but did not understand was I wasn't going to surrender my identity, which what I mean is inside you, that person. I wasn't going to compromise him. And I knew that there was going to be a responsibility to protect the real me. So with that being said, a lot of truths had to be revealed. Some may know that as bearing your cross. A lot of belief systems that learned through time had to be debunked, as well as a lot of fear had to be championed. To do all these things, I had to be transparent with myself. The hardest thing that you're going to ever come to understanding is understanding your logic, your perceptions and beliefs, and the foundation you stand upon. There may be some things that you are passionate about and you don't even know why. But inside your psyche, that is what you think you are meant to do, meant to be defended upon. So as I started my journey, that soul was opened up, y'all. I had to allow God to come into my life and review as of right now as that point where I was. And I'll be honest with you, figuratively, I don't know why I threw that in there. Because when someone says, I'll be honest with you, when somebody says that, put a question mark there. Because that's fear-based, and that's also when you should look and listen a little closer. Because if you're coming from a place of truth, you don't have to say that. But just know that what I'm conveying to you is love. It's compassion. It is my truth. And I hope that when this finds you, you are embracing yours. Because at the end of the day, y'all, once you take your last breath, guess what? Your legacy will define it. So it's very important that you are responsible on how your story is to be told. See, that's the one thing a lot of people will not acknowledge. We want to easily speed over the nasty stuff. We want to speed over the hard parts. We want to coast through to the end result, no matter what the sacrifice is. But what does it cost you? What does it really, really cost you? Does it cost you more dumbing down, or more denial embraced, or more communication not used? All in all, it's about emotional and spiritual conditioning, y'all. I remember having to see a snippet where the artist J. Cole was doing an interview, and he said, well, I've learned to champion my fears, because the moment that you decide to champion your fears, it has no weight against you. It doesn't leave you stuck or frozen. And it's true. Because, see, you can't embrace you until you speak your truth. But to know your truth, you must be grounded. To see your truth, you must be vulnerable to yourself to embrace what is being shown. Because, see, when you think about it, your life is blessed, and your whole development as of right now is to condition you to think a certain way. So guess what? You got to embrace, or you have to open the door to let it in. That's why possessions occur. That's why spiritual attacks occur. They don't just, hey, I'm Johnny the favorite demon, and I think I'm just going to fly in and mess with you like a bully. Mm-mm. It's progressive. It's progressive, y'all. It's over a period of time. Sometimes it starts with a great loss. How about a great trauma? You got to attack that mind first, because it's about conditioning. I know somebody right now is pissed off that I'm bringing this up because you tired of me talking about it. Well, guess what? Your soul's now for sale, and your life is not going to end up the way you think it is, because you are in your despair right now. Devil's a liar. It's a choice. You got to sign off on that. You got to sign off on that. You got to get out your own way. That's right. No more running, because you realize that what you've been doing has been just a delay. You know, in the heart, you've seen snippets of your destiny in your dreams. And you have to admit to yourself that is a longing and a desire to get there. But you have convinced yourself not to embrace your courage. Your courage is also nothing but your truth. I know I'm talking to someone. And then, and with that being said, I'm gonna throw this out there because I feel this on my heart. See, I understand what's going on right now, y'all. Let's make no bones about it. As it was said, what is a man to inherit the earth by way of losing his soul, right? And you got some people walk around that are not spiritually connected with themselves because they too busy looking outside their door for self-identity, self-validation. And they thinking that if you take the mindset of, well, you know what, this comes with the territory, it just brings me one step closer. But really what you don't realize, it actually sets you 5 steps back, because that what is being shown is only potential. It shows you what you could obtain when you do it yourself. But see, guess what? There's something more covert going on, y'all. Hear me now. Why do you think your generation, you under the age of 35, is so cavalier right now? Do you see it? It's so cavalier. They've been telling you this for the last 15 years. Hey, do what you want. Do what you like. Oh, yes. Get up on that lean. Mm-hmm. Party like till you can't party no more. Mm-hmm. Get zooted out your mind. Mm-hmm. Oh no, don't worry about your health. Sleep with everybody you want. Mm-hmm. Just like cattle, just sleep with everybody. Because they need you to play your part. But guess what? You don't realize that the enemy is not knocking on the front door. The enemy is already inside the house. Don't you realize your body is a temple? And there is only one you. So it is your responsibility to fortify and protect it from the inside out, right? So with that being said, if I don't make you aware, or if I give you little bite-sized pieces, eventually you're going to consume everything. Then you're going to be lethargic. Then you're going to feel like a hypocrite. But guess what? They already know. They are those who do not claim there's a God. They already know that, see, they've already chosen to sell out. That's what the sellout is. That's what a sellout is. What is a man to inherit the earth by way of losing his soul? So they have willfully put a price in exchange for their soul. So guess what? If they know at the end of this journey that they're going to be in a whole lot of pain, why do you not think that they're not going to be malicious to try to take you with them? Misery loves company, right? Birds of a feather flock together, right? But they use trickery. They use wordplay. They use illusion instead of showing you the real. Because why? You have a right to choose. I know I'm talking to somebody. I told you the 2 greatest gifts God gave you was the breath of life and free will. The breath of life is for your temple, and your temple is to protect your temple. That means you have to unconditionally love yourself. Free will is the right to choose left or right, forward or back. So if you are embracing a make it to fake it mindset, you're not living your life. You're allowing someone else to live it for you. You're not claiming where you should be because you're not grounded. So we are what we attract, y'all. Don't get it fooled. Don't don't get misled. Don't get misled. So now, does it surprise you? There's a whole lot of issues. You hear one aspect of people, under the age of 35 said, there ain't no jobs, Gerald. I can't find no jobs. I want to work, but I can't find no jobs. But really, you can't find no jobs because you stay high. And you know that if you have to take that test, you're going to come up positive. Something from your past is going to be thrown in your present. And you don't want to humble down. You don't want to, because that's truth. Remember that speed bump that you rolled over trying to get to the end goal? Number one, you're not going to see your end goal until you see you. I know I'm talking to someone. The person you're walking with right now is a reflection of your state of mind. So guess what? If they're not doing anything to uplift you, to inspire you, tell you what you need, instead of the things you want to see and hear, they are the enemy. They are systematically placed in your life to distract you from the end goal, the real you, the person you're destined to be. I keep trying to convey this to each and every one of you. The person that you are going to become is blessed. But the decisions you make today will have an impact on that person. Some people know that as a butterfly effect. Some people know it's a ripple effect. But at the end of the day, it's still going to be your truth. You can cut this off right here now. Guess what? You still got to live your life. You still got to go to sleep. You're still going to wake up in that same reality till you make a decision to change it. I know I'm talking to somebody. You're tired of feeling a certain kind of way? Why don't you have the courage to do the work? The work starts within yourself. How about speaking your truth? How about using that beautiful word called no? No doesn't mean forever. No means under review. I know someone needs to hear that. You talking this to that person, but your actions is to that person. You can't be pulled in two directions. You got to make a choice. But see, we in a world of compromise, right? Aren't we? There's so much stuff going on, y'all. You don't even see it because you're numb. Some people call it dumbing down. Some people call it convenient distractions. Some people call it emotional detachment too. Why are you emotionally detached from a situation if that's your reality? Shouldn't it be something that you embrace? But what if that is your pain? What if that's your burden? You know, your burdens only live as long as you decide not to look at it. That's how they grow life. That's why they take on a form very strong. For those who know what I'm talking about, just know God loves you. Because at the end of the day, I can't live your life. I can't do your work, but I can pray for you. I hope that some of y'all will learn from the mistakes I've gone through, and you don't make the same mistakes. Each one teach one is how it should be, right? But they're doing a good job tearing up the trail, tearing up what you interpret. They want you to party like it's 1999, but not plan for tomorrow. Why is that? Because they also know that if you plan for tomorrow, the person that you're going to be is going to make an impact. I know I'm talking to someone. So you're going to have to give yourself permission to forgive yourself by looking at your pain. There's no consolation prize in living a false life with more pain. That's the reality. I know I'm talking to somebody. You're going through some hell right now. You're going through hell because you're not choosing your life. God does not reward. He don't. Why? Because you don't have that conversation with them. But you call yourself strong. But yet, that emotional backpack gets heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. You know in your heart and heart, they ain't supposed to hear you breathe, but you there at their beck and call. Every time they come around, they're doing this. They're doing this. They dumbing you down. They tell you what they want. There's no honor there. There's no respect there because there's no love there. I know I'm talking to someone. So now we are in a society that now our babies are being preyed upon. My parents, you need to humble yourself down and make it a business to be in their business. Did you hear what I said? My kings, who's watching over your little girl? Every time she clicks into the world, who's looking at her? And see, I call myself being methodical on things. I do the research on things best as I know. And did you know that right now, between the age group of 17 and 24, you have more pedophiles, wolves in sheep's clothing, trying to lure your baby from under your grasp. They got her. Oh yeah, the cam industry is big business, y'all. You scratching your head like, well, why is it that she got money? She ain't working, but she got money. You better check to see where her webcam goes. I know I'm talking to someone. You say to yourself, well, you know what, Gerald? I can't find no money that's really willing to pay. So I'm going to get on this webcam right here and I'm going to show myself. And the money's coming in. You say, I can deal with it. But guess what? What did I tell y'all 4 months ago? The internet is forever. Don't you realize that? One day you're going to be a father. One day you're going to be a mother. One day there's a possibility that your son or daughter may find some things that they shouldn't when you were not grounded. Are you willing to deal with that pain? Is that money worth the dishonor that you're going to feel? Think about it. Remember the big old hoopla that went on with the whole thing with Mimi Foss and the tape and how everybody had something to say about it? And she kept saying to herself, I just want to protect my baby girl. Well, guess what? This feed right here, right now, is going to go on a server somewhere and it's going to live forever. So guess what? Your generations are going to see you in a light. Now, I know some of y'all may have a position of just straight up selfishness. You're like, I don't care. I'm living my life. I want to do what I want to do. But what if you're wrong? Maybe the motivation of your actions is spawned because there is some impulse of something broken that you are terrified to look at. What about that pain you keep adding more burdens to? What about that? You think you got a pass because you were traumatized at a young age, because you didn't have the support that you needed, because of what? Because dad wasn't there. So you say, well, you know what? Deep down inside, I'm going to just sleep with as many men as I can, because deep down inside, you hate men. But really, you long for your father's embrace. You got a hole in the shape of your father. That's what most people do, y'all. So let's stop lying. You want to turn up, but yet the end result is you get turned out. You become the butt of someone else's joke. You are the mockery. Why? Why? Because they gave you a trinket? Why? Because they put you in a nice, pretty cage, threw you some keys, because your ego is so broken. So you say, well, as long as I got this materialism, it will make up for what I long in my heart. Come on, man. You need to stop lying. Because anything that's blessed will fall apart. Where love is not, God is not. You take it upon yourself and you got to start in 5. But you got someone loyal to you at home that unconditionally loves you at home. You say, well, they do it, I can do it too. Do you not realize how much pain? And this reminds you, let me tell you something, y'all. Sometimes, depending on the severity of the choice, because there's that free will, the free will not, the, the lesson might not come to you. It may come to your siblings. It may come to your children. Because guess what? Ain't no greater pain than a parent watching their child suffer and they can't do nothing about it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We are what we attract, y'all. Let's get it. Don't get it twisted. So I'm saying this because see, right now, the devil thinks he's winning. You got a lot of people that were acting in the darkness that are having bravado and they think they're winning. They think they got a platform and they're adding and stirring more chaos and the unimpressionable. I watched a story the other night where I don't know what state it is. I don't know if it's in the States yet or it might be in, I think it's Europe. And kindergarten, kindergartners, they're asking the kindergartners to pick their gender. Really? 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 See, that's what happens when you take prayer out of schools. That's what happens when you shackle parents from being parents. But I understand that because grandma in the club twerking, mama making videos thinking that nobody see it. Don't you realize? Let me tell you something. This right here is only good as long as the relationship is intact. I know I'm talking to someone. Soon as you decide not to do what they want, guess what? You willfully put yourself in a role to be extorted. Oh, you better do what I asked you to do, or else. These people never even deserve to hear you breathe. You want the nightmares to go away? Why won't you have the courage to love yourself? So you can't love yourself unless you walk in humility, transparency. Because when you're transparent, you're vulnerable. Your spirit is exposed. But you have to be careful with that too, because see, you got to have a connection with God. Because guess what? There's a lot of vessels walking around this place, and you have a lot of demons setting up shop, and they're acting through these people. I know I'm talking to somebody. Somebody had a heart to heart with somebody that made your teeth click because of what came out of them, and you are shook. It's as if you didn't even know them now, wasn't it? And you have turned around and given your all. You have given everything to. I'm so passionate about it, I'm stuttering. I don't stutter. You have served your body as a means of sacrifice. For what? They're not your husband. That's not your wife. That ain't nothing but a demon trying to distract you from yourself. That's how spiritual attacks occur. And then guess what? That's when that pain hits your life like the Niagara Falls. It just And you got to make a choice. Because if you allow your pride and your ego to convince you that you are strong enough to deal with the revelations and tribulations that you have incurred into your life, because I told you, y'all, those are nothing but spiritual seeds. That's why everything comes full circle. It has to, and it shall. Because guess what? This is one thing I can also agree upon. The one of two things. See, the devil and God don't need your permission to have dominion in your life. But guess what? The devil just wants to destroy you. Why do you think people walking around gone out their mind? Some people say, oh, that's just drugs, Gerald. Mm-mm. That's part of it. A lot of it is because of what they've seen in their dreams, playing out in their lives, manifesting out in their day to day, and they're shook. But yet they still have a stronghold over them that they will not humble themselves to allow God to step in. Don't you understand? Until you decide to put God first in front of your life, He can't protect you. He created you. He's given you have a life to fulfill His promise. That's your legacy. So you've got to do your part. You sitting over there frustrated, and you got a I gotta pick my words real close because I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm speaking truth. You are willfully desecrating your body. You are sleeping with anybody. Don't you realize when people spiritually, when people have sex, their spirits intertwine, and whoever has a dominant spirit, the other one will take on the traits of the stronger. Why do you think you see people do this? She walks like, talks like, dresses like, acts like, because that's his spiritual influence. That's also known as a stronghold too, if it's not blessed. So now we live in a world where we have this pimp and hoe mentality. Fashion has done a turn and now wants you, my queen, to not only act like the prostitute, but dress like her too. So guess what? Ain't nobody gonna take you serious because you don't protect yourself. And you keep feeding your ego and your pride because you can get them, you can manipulate them and throw them to the side. But what you can't release yourself is that spiritual contact you have with each and every one of them. I told y'all. Why you think there's such an urge to be sexually active at a younger age now? Why? Because the devil wants you to burn yourself out. He wants you to pervert your body. Don't you realize, Queen, you are given a gift of nurturement the moment that you were created as female. But until you are able to understand who you are, not what you're about, can you rightfully wear the title called mother. You listen to these women out here, every damn one of them are broken. Every one of them. All you have to do is listen to what they say. I don't care who you see. Listen to an interview that this, and I guarantee you'll hear a schizophrenic. They're quick to deflect. Yeah, I got problems. Don't we all? If you got problems and you identify you got problems, why don't you fix it? No, because you want to wear the mask and embrace the masquerade. Oh, if he doing it, I can do it too. No, Queen, you're God's gift to man, but you are the blessing to the spiritual man. King, you are turning around and spreading your seed anywhere you can drop it. And you're surprised that your offspring, your connections, is not coveted. Why you think that there's so much animosity and anger? And what do? You constantly disrespect yourself by calling her out her name. Don't you realize every time you call her out her name, she's an extension to you for the rest of your life because you planted your seed in her. And until she grounds her feet and places God first in everything she do, guess what? She gonna be your burden too, because what she does, you gonna feel. How many y'all are at a point in your life where you're starting to have dreams of your exes and what they do? You ain't crazy. God is revealing that to you. You get a certain kind of feeling like, whoa, this ain't me. That's your spiritual tie. If they getting violated, you feeling a certain kind of way. If they doing something they shouldn't be doing, you get sick. That's how the pendulum swings. I know I'm talking to someone. So now, I warned y'all before, when they put that 50 Shades of Grey out, and I said, don't buy into that because somebody going to make money off of that. And guess what? I was right. So now you got people walking around with leashes. You got people into bondage. That is nothing but metaphoric of the spiritual reaction if you choose not to be in your life. That is nothing but a ripple. That is nothing but a physical uh, reflection of the children of Israel being led out of bondage. What? Why you think they went around that mountain for 40 years? Their pride and ego. Some didn't make it. Trust and believe when I say that, y'all. When Moses parted the Red Sea, there were some that didn't make it across. So now we live in a tech world. Ain't no God in that. The internet is nothing but free will, free range. Anything goes. And you're wondering why he talks to you a certain way. He tells you what he wants to do to you and has shown you, not in love. Oh yeah, because the new thing is sodomy now. He running all up in your backside. You think that's love? But he knows nothing about God. Because see, that's what the devil does, y'all. He's like, oh, you mean all I gotta do is give you this? Yeah, I'm gonna give you the most fanciest house, the most fanciest car. I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna give you these little trinkets. That's nothing. But I'm gonna tear you up from the inside out. And after the damage is done, guess what? They gone. Because that's what it costs. Ain't no different than you getting one someone so they can pay your light bill. You can get mad all you want. Get mad at your self-worth. And that's the problem with a lot of people. You know you're broken, but you don't want to fix it. Why? Don't you realize all you're doing is setting yourself up to be bought and paid for? Some of y'all are living the role of a hostage now. turned around and got married for agenda. I keep telling you, kings, that's what a lot of people have done. And I think that is a revelation that a lot of y'all are feeling, because you're starting to see that play out in your lineage. You're like, well, why did my aunt get married to uncle such and such, when they act like they don't even, because one of them was acting by way of agenda. And you're wondering why your cousins can't get right, because they were not products of love. That covenant wasn't blessed. Why do you think they call it heredity? Because someone's got to break the cycle once it's passed on. I know I'm talking to someone. But if you listen to what they say, they're going to leave you barren. Like an infestation of locusts comes to a wheat field. They're going to rip up, destroy. Nothing's going to be left of you. And let me tell you something, Queen, because you obviously not listening. Because you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and again, and you get caught up on what this looked like. So while he sounded like he meant well, what did his actions say? You do understand, demons know the Bible too. So why aren't you worth the wait? Hmm? There's some people that are brought into your life to destroy it. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Why you think you got those addictions? Oh, I'm talking to someone. Well, I like my little drink this way. You only drink to forget, and it make you more depressed. Or you pick up the phone to call him because of how he makes you feel deep down inside, but nowhere is respect or honor found. Why? He told you the first moment the hello fell, what he was going to do. She did the same thing. That's why you can't find her. You can't find her because she's setting up shop somewhere else. I keep trying to tell you, we live in a generation where people have starting fives. What you won't do, the next one will. Why? Because God ain't there. So they make a conscious decision to make it to fake it. That's why I keep trying to tell you, two broken people can't make a whole relationship. All that does is open a door for more pain. Why? Because you embrace denial. And they know your secrets. So guess what? Who is being extorted? I can tell you this though. The people that genuinely love you, they're not going to watch you put yourself in a coffin. Because guess what? They've come to see, that's the one thing that's beautiful about God. And I'm not going to take up too much of your time because I'm going to bring this home. When you make a conscious decision to unconditionally love God, your life falls into place. He shows you the things that you did not see because he will never give you things you can't withstand. So guess what? Fear is not there. Fear is not there. It's love. So where love is, there is protection divinely. His angels are at work. That's right. Michael, Gabriel, Avriel, Ariel, Uriel, Rachiel, Shemiel. They're there. That's why it's important that you keep that connection with the Holy Spirit. That's why it's important that you pray. See, first of all, you can't walk in humility if you don't pray, because you think that that is beneath you. Really? The devil's a liar. So, like that movie Life, Can't Get Right. See, the end goal is peace of mind. The end goal is emotional freedom. The end goal is the ability to say no and speak your truth because you are grounded. But here's the beautiful thing about it. Those people that move by agenda, no matter how hard they try, they will not have access to your life. They can't. There is a spiritual division placed. You might as well have a 15-ton piece of stone put between you and them, because you can hear them, but you ain't gonna see them. Remember what I just said. Stop going off of what this says. Go about what this is. Because the actions tell it all. So tell me why you don't love yourself again. Tell me why you feel that you've got to disrespect yourself. Hmm? You think attracting a man is looking like a hooker? He got you swinging through the chandeliers? Hmm. But you are the one that he calls. You know why he calls you? Because he got a life. He got a wife. And you're something to do. I'm saying this out of love, y'all, not disrespect. My queens, some of y'all are kind of shook already because you know what I'm saying is true. Don't you realize everything that you do comes back, amplified? You got to pray that it comes back to you, because the devil is so wicked, he may attack those that you genuinely have feelings for and watch them squirm. But indirectly, the message is for you. That's why you're not supposed to play with God. You're not. So what are you going to do about them addictions? Hmm? You have to be able to speak your truth. Take it one day at a time. Allow yourself to heal. Forgive yourself. And let your heart sing. You'll come to see what inner strength is all about. But guess what? There are those who will choose to live in torment. And that's going to be the hard part, because you'll come to see that these people are on borrowed time. And the reason why you're seeing that is because the devil uses that to sway you from you. Hmm. He does that. Like, I know you care about that person, so I'm going to put them in distress. And you can run on over there and try to bail them out. But guess what? They know that is nothing but an influence to get you right back to where you once were. I know I'm talking to somebody. Come on. Come on now. Come on now. Come on. Come on back home to yourself. Stop running. King, you're not a man unless you embrace your emotions. Every one of them. I say that because until you're able to admit what your emotions are giving you, you can't connect to your spirit. Your emotional state is nothing but a reflection of your spiritual foundation. So how can you call yourself a man? You're not. You're not. Don't matter how much money you got in your pocket, what you possess, because guess what? If it's not blessed, you're going to lose it. Why do you think drug dealers always lose their money? It's not blessed. That's the cause and effect. You're doing things that you are not supposed to do. But I know there might be somebody right now saying, well, Gerald, you know what? These choices I've made have afforded me opportunities to be places that I would have never been able to see. And that was the trade-off. But guess what? What you don't realize is that was also diluted if you had done it yourself. So devil's going to always glamorize, but never sustain. Hmm. Somebody right now, you worried about your health right now. Hmm. You don't understand why your body's acting the way it is or showing what it's showing. You already know the truth. And no, it didn't happen just yesterday. This was progressive. So guess what? You got to put your life in reverse and go back to where that first pain began. And you got to heal that. Take the stopwatch out your life. Because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. You're going to have all these. First of all, you know what the greatest travesty other than surrendering your soul is? Is not acknowledging your uniqueness. If you was able to love yourself more, you would see how beautiful you are. You turn around trying to emulate what you see her doing. She's one of the most brokenest ones out there, but she's using her influence and platform. Notice she don't say anything about upliftment. She say everything about greed, everything about selfishness. Having gotten so bold and brazen, she said, well, you know what? This is the playbook. To get this, to get that, you must do this. You never hear love. You never hear transparency. You don't hear nothing about religion because the flesh and the spirit has already been compromised. You realize how many people are going to lose their lives, not even know who they really are? You shouldn't be one of them. But see, I understand because right now you into thrill seeking. You meeting people and they telling you, "Oh, I want to do this to you." They got you. They got you acting like Ringling Brothers, but they ain't there when the wounds are fresh. They ain't there when the traumas is fresh. They always there when the getting is getting good. And what happens out of that? A fresh layer of pain and denial. Why? Because love was never there to begin with. You gotta understand, some of the most devious people come with the greatest accessories. Y'all, you just keep this quiet. I'll give you this. You just keep this quiet and we can have this. If it's something that's worth treasuring, where's the honor in that? Not one time has he told you, I love you from truly from his heart. But he knows your rectum now, don't he? Ooh, because you think that that's the way to do it. You hear it in the music, you see it in the videos, you see it in the movies. Why do you think they do that? Because they condition you for more pain. They want you to give up. So they want you to be high as a kite. So when the boom bap does come, you ain't even you're not even in the equation to defend yourself. You gone. This is fragile. What? So why you think they're going after our babies now? Because they want to go after the impressionable. They want to indoctrinate them to have a certain mentality. Mm-hmm. But they're cowards though, y'all. They're cowards. They won't tell you that. That's why they try so hard to disrespect God. Now, I was just thinking about that, and I'm going to wrap this up. If God was not real, Why would people spend so much energy to deflect something that's not real? I'll tell you what, because they know the moment that you decide to love yourself, any any endeavors that you are going to do, they're going to come to pass, and they can't risk that. So then, of course, they want to keep you on your back. Hmm. That's how the devil do. Oh well, she won't think for herself as long as I got her on her back, as long as I got her. Nope. Mm-mm. As long as I keep giving her little kibbles and bits, she won't live. But what you'll come to see is you'll see a commonality from, because guess what? There was one person before you, and there's going to be another person after you, and y'all going to have the same story. Violation, violation, desecration, tribulation. Let me tell you something. Some of y'all going through some traumas in your life. Some of y'all, I'm going to put it out there because I know it's going to reach the intended heart and mind. Some of y'all had to deal with incest. Some of y'all had to deal with rape. Some of y'all had to deal with molestation that was on a emotional emotional standpoint, and you have a stone in your heart because you were violated. I'm gonna say two things on that. Number one, when someone's in a form of innocence like a child, they don't know what to protect from. It's their environment that they seek protection. And number two, if you wasn't destined for greatness, the devil wouldn't have struck you when you were young. He wouldn't have shown you that hardship when you're young because he had to plant the seed, hoping that it would take root. And for some people, it does. Some people it does. Oh, you feel in a certain kind of way because you have children now, and you are under the age of 30, and you frustrated because you feel like your life was robbed because you're a mother. I know I'm talking to somebody. You think that your life is the end all be all because you have these children. Let me tell you something. I guarantee you, if you had the proper support system, you will come to understand that the decisions that you made was based off the state of mind that you were functioning on. So if your environment was all about getting it in, you're going to expect that that's the norm. But guess what? Your life don't end. I see this play out all the time. You got these queens out here that were single moms or young moms. Where do you think the term little mama came from? Yeah, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That wasn't a term of endearment. That's a term of disrespect. But guess what? If that ain't your name, why are you acknowledging it? I know I'm talking to someone. Disrespect only sticks if you claim it. You acknowledge it. You turn around, got your voice on 10, they don't respect me, so I act this way. No, you're disrespecting yourself because you're not acting how you should. The real you. Yeah, you know that person. You say to yourself behind closed doors, they don't get me, Gerald, but I got these voices in my head. You ain't crazy. That's your discernment trying to get you back to center. Center, not sinner. And a lot of people think, well, you know what? If they can do it, I can do it too. So if they jump into a lake of fire, you supposed to do that too? But here's what you don't realize. The people that have already sold out, that's what they're there for. They want you to stop loving yourself. They want you to disrespect and desecrate your body. He love you though, right? You got no ring to first. But you get it in as much as you could. But yet, he don't know God. Hello? How can he call himself a man if he don't have a relationship with God? Or better yet, how are you walking with someone that can't protect your heart? I know I'm talking to someone, but he's real quick to smack that ass, excuse my French. Oh, he'll do that. He'll make a fool out of you because in the back of his mind, he ain't invested anyway. He's not invested. You mad at her because she ain't picking the cell phone up. You don't know where she is. What's your spirit tell you? She ain't with you because she went with him. She got an itinerary of people she got to see. That's her life. A life in torment. But people treat their lives like a slice of pizza, as long as they ain't got to pay for it. But you're going to pay for that. You are. As long as you keep running from you. See, let me tell you something. Whoever told you that you're not worth loving is a liar. But if you don't love you, it will never be received. Did someone hear me now? It doesn't matter what you do behind closed doors. Have you realized that? Because if it's truth, it always comes out. It comes out. And guess what? The intended that you chose to deceive, they know it. They know your secrets. And guess what secrets is? There's truth without a voice. And what's truth without a voice? A burden. An action that has not been atoned. Why you think your finances are busted? Why you think you're struggling? It's because you with them. But that's your girlfriend, right? Well, let's do the math. 1.1 plus 1 is 2, right? But if that one is not investing in themselves, that leaves you. So if they're constantly doing this, now look at the time y'all been together in each other's lives, and there's still no progression. That should tell you right there. They ain't trying to. And guess what? They don't have the honor in themselves to speak their truth, to tell you the truth. They don't want you to grow. That's why anytime that you try to say, well, you know what? I think I'm going to do this. They're the first ones to talk you out of it. Because they never had genuine intentions. And I know for some of y'all, that can be very hard to accept because you look at time that was invested. But see, that's what the devil wants you to do. He wants to rob you of your smile. If you spend in one moment without that beautiful smile, you better get it back. And if you're in an environment where your smile will not come out, that's not the environment you're supposed to be in. So why won't you speak your truth? Why won't you love yourself? I know some of y'all are saying, well, Gerald, I've been going through a season and I just wish I had peace of a man. You got this thing playing in your mind. You see these women out here just disrespecting. First of all, let me tell you something, women. I said women, I didn't say queens. Because the women have no direction. Let me tell you something. Why would you disrespect something that is for you? You would try everything in your power to protect it. Right? So if that has value has no connection to God. Why would you hold on to it? Exactly. So there's a lot of deception going on. I know there's somebody right now, you've been married to somebody, and you're saying, I woke up yesterday and I realized that I wasn't in love with this person. You knew that before you said your vows. You married them in contingent of what they could do. But what's so amazing about that, the commonality is you both didn't love each other and didn't have the strength to admit it to each other. So how can you expect your life to be the way it's intended when you're not claiming it? But if you keep watching Shaniqua that's out there, she got more emphasis in twerking her ass, excuse my French, than investing in her brain, that beautiful mind. You say, I'm tired of being broke, Gerald, but you ain't doing anything to change it. My kings, you turn around and have a position of being militant. Oh, it's the man. No, maybe you supposed to be the man. Don't you realize she was given the gift of nurturement, but she was also deemed to be your best friend and your helpmate because she's an extension of you. So if you don't protect her, she won't grow. That's like throwing seeds in rocky places. Eventually they sprout. So you got a choice. You gonna keep running from yourself, blaming everybody? Why are you gonna blame somebody else's actions when you had to sign off on it? Hmm? All right, here you go. And I'm gonna shut up. You say, well, you know what? I can't have all of him, so I'll accept the parts that I'm able to get. So you accept crumbs. Hmm? That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. But mind you, if you're a parent, your actions are the illustrations of those who gonna come behind you. Cause so if you ain't living right, they gonna think that's right to do. And you ain't seen a pain so dear or deep when it manifests. Because sooner or later your babies grow up. They come behind us. So who's really doing a disservice? You can get your life back. You gotta do the darn work. It starts by you speaking your truth. How about healing them damn wounds? Because every day that you spend deflecting, you're not collecting what's right. So let's bring this back. I put a video out earlier today, like I said, about 2:30 this morning, 2:26 to be precise. This is video 501. I'm in awe because I know God is real. I know God is using, by way of the Spirit, to use me as nothing but a conduit, a vessel to reach somebody. But I'm also embracing my walk. I'm also embracing my truth. And I'm humble because on one aspect, I'm a good man. I have a good heart. And I know that when the end all be all, it is about my legacy. It's not about me. And all I want to do is make God happy. If you don't think about that, are you living to full potential? You ain't living. You ain't living. If you're ready to claim your life back, I suggest you lace your boots up, stand up, survey where you've been. I'll do one better. How about the people that you allowed in your life? How about this one? How about all the people you allowed to lay on top of you? Where are they now? I'm not saying that to sting you. I'm saying that I want you to see your worth. But guess what? The moment that you do, God will say, you're ready. The man or woman that's intended to be in your life will be a spiritual person. But guess what? Your name is already written on their hearts. Now, I'm not going to sound negative, but I'm going to tell you this too. It doesn't matter what you look like. Their spirit will find you. This is the same thing that demons do too. That's why when you're going through things, the commonality is you both must bear witness of your free will. That's why they're in your life. And some people have a revelation and they break because life becomes very stark to them. And then there are some that will not see their worth. And they will take a position of, well, if I don't see it, I don't believe it, and I'm going to keep on keeping on until there is none. And that's a travesty because it is about good and evil. Don't get it twisted. I can put poison in a beautiful box, dress it up so it's alluring, only to destroy you if that was my intent. The things that are most precious, most priceless, are the things that are most sought after. That's your uniqueness. That's why they came into your life. You think they came into your life because of the way your backside fits? Where your breast sits up, or how you wear your hair like the other 100,000 women? No, they came into your life just to take a ticket, just to say, I've been there. And yes, women, y'all do it too. You do it too. That's why most women instantaneously have shame when you ask them, how many partners have you been with? They automatically scrunch up them. What? How dare you? You should say thank you. Because if a man doesn't have that conversation with you before you are intimate, first of all, if you're doing it and you're not married, that's a sin anyway. So you're gonna pay for that. Um, and that's a cross that I'm gonna have to bear myself. And let's get this straight. I know that when the intended time, I'm gonna have to answer to that because I've shared my story. You're looking at a man that was a hoe, not intentionally, because deep down inside, Gerald didn't love Gerald. So Gerald was willing to take whatever was given, only to inflict more pain on Gerald. See, here's a beautiful commonality out of that, though. Those experiences, these people know unconditionally. They had a man that unconditionally loved them, and they have to live with that burden of knowing what love looked like. But in the intended moment in time, guess what? God says, hey, I'm going to love you more for you, and I'm going to pick you up, move you away. That's why some connections end like that. You don't understand. You're like, well, what did I say? What did I do? Maybe it was what you didn't know or foresee what was going to happen. And God loved you so much, he got you up out of there. But guess what? Don't worry. All things hidden are revealed. You see it in your dreams. You feel it in your discernment. That's why I share that. Some of y'all, depending on how strong that connection is, you can feel them. You wonder, why am I feeling sick? Because the person that you were tied to is doing something that's violating their body. You got these aches and pains. That's not your energy, that's theirs. And depending on how strong it is, not trying to make light, you also know when they're having sex too. I know I'm talking to someone. Why? Because God is still lifting the veil so you can see what self-worth is all about. Now, so tell me you don't think you're worth it. Tell me you're supposed to live a life of sorrow. Tell me you're supposed to live a life of bitterness. That's why you see so many women and men bitter. It's because they got a heart full of woes. They didn't have the courage to admit to themselves, I was wrong. So guess what? You suffer in silence. And it keeps perpetuating until, because guess what? Sooner or later, what's going to happen? Your life is going to end, or you're going to submit. And ain't nothing worse for you to realize someone else is living your blessing, but living your life. God is praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. For that, for that, for that. It helps me discern mine. My queens, you get no badge of honor playing the Jezebel. If that man doesn't walk with God, you shouldn't be walking with him. So if all he's talking about is getting it in, not building it up, you better see that as a spiritual attack, because the devil's work is never done. All right. Okay. I'm putting 2 more videos out. 5:03. In the intended time and moment. I know I'm being prepared for something, both on a spiritual and physical level. So I'm stepping away from here. I think God wants me to recharge, reflect, and prepare. If you're going through something, drop me a line. But I've left you videos to reflect on. Like I said, my first video was called, when was the last time you told yourself you love you? That guy was broken. That guy only wanted to be loved. But it wasn't until that guy embraced his spiritual path, placed God first, before he knew it was time to love me. Love me. Are you loving you, or are you letting people use you? Are you living a life that ain't yours? Oh, well, she got the big car. She with the sugar daddy. But you don't know what she's doing behind closed doors. She ain't at peace. Because if she was at peace, she wouldn't compromise her self-worth. I want nothing but the best for each and every one of you. But we all must do our work. God's praying for you. You know I am. I see your worth. And for that, it helps me discern mine. No matter what, y'all, place God first in everything you do. Because when you do, he protects you from the things you don't know and the things you don't see. But you got to ask yourself why you don't deserve it. Be blessed.